Hello, home bosses. Today I'm going to show you how to turn the Amazon reviews of competing books into a secret advantage for your own books, because hidden inside those reviews is a goldmine of information about what readers love and what they wish those books had done better. So when you analyze them properly, you can instantly see the exact things readers keep asking for that none of the existing books include. So I'm going to show you how to uncover this in minutes using a free tool called NotebookLM. In my last video, I showed you how I used NotebookLM to critique one of my books. I uploaded it, asked NotebookLM to analyze it, and what came back was really impressive. It spotted things I hadn't noticed myself, things that were genuinely helpful to know in terms of how to market my book, and other things that I wished I'd noticed before I published. But the bit that was mind-blowing about it was the podcast feature. NotebookLM turns the whole critique into an audio conversation between two AI hosts, just chatting about your book as if it were on a book club podcast, and it sounded really good. I got lots of lovely emails and comments about it from people who had gone straight off and tried it on their own books and found it just as useful as I did, which made me really happy. So today I want to show you something else you can do with NotebookLM that I think is going to be just as exciting, maybe even more so if you're at the stage of deciding what to write next. Because this one isn't about a book you've already written. This one helps you figure out what to write in the first place by uncovering gaps in your niche that your competitors haven't filled yet. And the way it does it is really clever. Let me show you. Go to notebooklm.google.com. If you've never created a notebook before, your screen will look different to this one. I've already got all these notebooks I created on my screen, so if you haven't done that yet, yours will be different. It will look empty, but you will have the same option here to create a new notebook. You can do that by clicking here, or on the top right corner, create new there. So let's click on that. And this opens up this page, and this is where you input your sources, or where you can ask questions to get to different sources. So what we want to do is we want to get Amazon reviews for the books that are our competition. And to do that, we need to go onto Amazon first. So go onto Amazon.com. And what you can do is you can search for the top selling books in your niche. So you can look at the bestseller list or just search your main keyword. So I searched for kids' books about starting school because I thought this was an interesting topic. And I've got the self-publishing Titans tools that help me research better and that show me the keywords that I need. And looking at this tool, this seemed like a really good niche, kids' books about starting school, because the demand is quite high and the opportunity score is quite high. So I thought, let's go with this niche and see what we can find. So what you can do now is find 3 to 5 books to get their reviews, because you want enough reviews to spot patterns without spending all day on this. So you have to pick books that have a good number of reviews, ideally 50 or more reviews. In this particular case, for this niche, that's not difficult because all of these books seem to have quite a lot of reviews. Here's one that has 21,000 reviews. Here's another one that has 3,000 reviews. So all of these books have quite a lot of reviews. That's good for us because I can definitely get quite a few reviews together to feed into NotebookLM. So pick books that have a good number of reviews, ideally 50 or more, so that there's enough data to work with. And you don't need to buy the books. Everything you need is right here on the Amazon listing page. What we want to do now is to go to the review section and filter by 3 stars. So pick one of the books and then go to the reviews and filter by 3 stars or 4 stars even, but ignore the 1-star reviews and the 2-star reviews. and also 5-star reviews. And that is because 5-star reviews tell you what people loved. 1-star reviews are often about damaged packaging or delivery issues, but the 3 and 4-star reviews are where the readers say, I like it, but, and then that but is exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for the reasons why people didn't give it 5 stars. So what you can do now is copy a good handful of these reviews for each book and paste them into NotebookLM as a separate source. So I know this is a little bit tedious, but 15 to 20 minutes of copy and pasting is going to save you from publishing a book into a gap that doesn't exist, or worse, into a gap or into a niche that already has a perfect book sitting in it. So this is going to avoid you creating a book that maybe people aren't happy to buy. So this will really give you a good deal of information, and it's definitely worth doing. I did find a Chrome extension called Amazon Reviews Extractor that you can use. It's not free, but that would obviously make the job of copy pasting reviews a lot easier. So that's an option that you have. But if you don't want to use that, just copy paste the reviews and start putting them into NotebookLM. And if you've already created a book in this niche, you can also upload it too as a PDF or paste in the text. And this lets NotebookLM compare your book directly against the competition, which can surface some really useful insights. So if you're starting from scratch with a new niche, that's fine. Just skip this step for now and just copy paste the reviews. And you can do that by clicking here, upload a source, and then you can copy text and then just paste your reviews in here. And I've already done that, so I'll show you what prompt I used and also what the results were. So this is where I have the copy-pasted reviews, and this is the information that NotebookLM gave me just from the reviews without me asking it anything. So it said, these reviews provide a collective critique of several children's books centered on the transition to starting school. So it gives you more information there. But then what you need to do, what the magic is you use a prompt to tell NotebookLM what you want to extract, what information you want. So the prompt I used was, what do reviewers consistently say is missing from these books? What themes come up repeatedly in the 3 and 4-star reviews? Based on these listings, what angle hasn't been covered yet? And what do buyers seem to want that none of these books deliver? So I will put this prompt under the video so you can copy paste it and use it yourself. And when you paste this in, give it a moment, and the answers can be surprisingly detailed. So, and also don't just take the first response and run with it. Ask it follow-up questions, dig deeper. The more specific you get with your questions, the more useful the answers become. And you can also ask it to summarize everything into a brief for a new book, title ideas, angle, what to include and what to avoid. So here is what came back when I tried this in the children's back to school niche, and I think you'll find this interesting. So it basically told me what's consistently missing. So it gave me practical guidance on what to actually expect during the transition. Parents wanted something that would genuinely help prepare their child, not just be a sweet story. And then there was the bus problem. A huge number of books focused heavily on riding the school bus, but a lot of children get dropped off by car or walk to school. So there is almost no book that speaks to those children. That is a gap right there. And then there were a lot of repetitive structures. Many books used a repetitive song-type format that parents find tedious to read aloud and children lose interest in before the end. Also, they talked about emotional resolution. Books that list fears without resolving them can actually introduce new anxieties into a child who was previously excited. So buyers want stories that end on genuine reassurance, not just hype. And then they talked about the physical quality, but there's not really much we can do about that. That's an Amazon production problem. So that doesn't really help us, but everything else was really spot on. And I found that really useful for when I'm creating my next book. So that is a book brief, and it was generated in under half an hour from publicly available information using a free tool like NotebookLM. So let's just recap what we've actually done here, because I want you to be able to go and do this yourself today. We used NotebookLM to analyze publicly available information from Amazon, which are the reviews that real readers left about books already in our niche. And from that, we didn't just get a list of things people didn't like. We got a clear picture of what the market is actually asking for and not getting, which is really the most valuable thing you can know before you sit down to write or design a new book. And a few things I encourage you to take away from this is this. You really want to get the 3 and 4 star reviews. They are your best research tool, not the 1-star reviews. They are usually about they don't like the paper, or the book arrived in a bad condition. So they're not really falls with the content of the book itself. So you want the 3 and the 4-star reviews. The ones that usually say, I like the book, but, and then they give you a reason why they didn't like it. So those are the reviews that we want to analyze. So that's where the gap lives. And the other thing I want you to know is that this works for any niche, for children's books, low content books, journals, planners, non-fiction, cookbooks, fiction. So if it's on Amazon and it has reviews, you can research it this way. And the thing that really matters are the prompts, because vague questions get vague answers. So the more specific you are about what you want to know, the more useful NotebookLM's responses will be. So I'll put all the prompts I used today in the description so you can copy them. And use this before you publish, not after. The time to find out there's a gap in the market, or that the gap is already filled, is before you've spent weeks creating something, not when you're wondering why it isn't selling. And while we're here, this is just one way to use NotebookLM for your publishing business. A few other things you can do with it is you can upload your own published book and ask it to critique it from a reader's perspective. And that's what I showed you in my last video. And it's brilliant for spotting marketing angles that you might have missed. The other thing you can do is upload your research notes and outlines before you start writing and ask it to identify gaps in your structure or questions that your reader might still have. And the other thing you can do is upload multiple sources on a topic that you're writing about and ask it to synthesize them. It's an incredibly efficient research assistant. And you can use the audio overview feature to turn any of this into a podcast you can listen to on a walk. And I find I absorb information so much better when I can listen rather than read something. But it's up to you. But I found it really useful. So upload your book or blog content and ask it to generate social media post ideas, email topics, or a content calendar. One piece of content can become months of material with NotebookLM. Now, one thing I want to mention before I go, because it ties in perfectly with everything we've been talking about today. Once you've found what is missing in your niche and you're ready to publish, one of the things most authors and publishers still get stuck on is the listing itself. The title, the blurb, the description, the keywords, all the things that are supposed to make someone on Amazon say, yes, I want that book. And I have a course that takes you through exactly all of this using AI prompts to write the parts of your Amazon listing, your title, subtitle, description, blurb, author bio, and all 7 backend keyword slots. Not AI writing it for you, but AI giving you a starting point that you can shape and make your own. So the course is $47 as a standalone course, and I leave a link in the description. But if you're a member of the Home Boss Publishing Academy over on the Skool platform, it's completely free as part of your membership, along with every other mini course I release from now on. So the Academy is currently $37 per month, and that price will be going up once we reach the first 50 members. So if you've been thinking about joining, now is really a good time. And the Academy is fantastic because you can find so many resources. There's so much material. I have weekly calls as well, and I show you how I create my own books and so much more. So it's really good value. And if you are serious about book publishing, then it's worth joining the Academy and getting the course within that. So the link for that is in the description too. I hope you found this useful. If you have, I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try this and whether it's working for you. And if you think this could help someone else who needs it, please share it with them. And if you want to see more videos on helpful AI and other publishing tips, please like and subscribe. It really helps support my channel and encourages me to make more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.